Okay, let's do this. Do this. Do the stretch. Do the stretch. Do the stretch it out. Stretch it out. The routine, folks. What we do literally every time. Literally every time. It's Hero Girl time. It sure is. It sure is. All right, let's do this. Hey there, heroes. My name is Hero Girl. I'm your friendly local neighborhood hero tuber, and this is the Daily Grind. This is that time of the day where we come on and we grind our dailies. Today's July 8th, 2026. It's a Wednesday. What that means tonight, I get to play Blood Bowl at locals. I'm looking forward to it. I've got 4 of my 7 figures painted so far. The detailing is a little bit of a pain, but like they look so good. I'm so proud of myself. Go, go, Hero Girl Rangers! True, true, true. Anyway, chat. Today we're going to be playing some competitive. We got cast blue spells on our docket, which means that we're going to be playing some good old-fashioned Matoya. We'll go over exactly what that means here in a second. But like, what I might end up doing tomorrow, or maybe some point next week, is we might do a special longer Magic Stream Day. Might do that so that way we can mess around with some stuff. Just kind of depends. Messing around with some extra stuff would mean like doing some deck building on stream, doing some live testing, that sort of thing. I do love Matoya. She's a mono blue deck, but she's a mono blue deck that lets me play with some Xerox card type stuff. So like getting to play with Consider, getting to play with Ponder, getting to play with a bunch of preordained type effects. Cards that filter and then just like replace themselves and then turn into 1-mana draw 2s. Theoretically a Ancestral Recall depending on how much you value the scry. That being said, it is a little bit of an uphill battle because this is a deck that does not win particularly fast. We're playing mono blue control with this. We're not trying to be fast. We're just taking advantage of the fact that we get to play a ton of cards that aren't currently banned in the casual queue. So we get to play with Force of Will, we get to play with Time Warp, we get to play with Disruptor Flute as a way to deal with some really problematic commanders here. Finding some mono blue Graveyard Hate would probably go a... Subtlety's another one that was banned. Fierce Guardianship here. Mana Drain. Mana Drain and Disruptor Flute at the same time in the opening hand is incredibly brutal. Last time we were playing some competitive queue, we had gotten to situations where our opponent would have both. And it's like, okay, I can either play into the Mana Drain, or I cannot, and then they'll flash into the Disruptor Flute instead. And if I do play into the Mana Drain, well then I just give them the mana to play the Disruptor Flute for free anyway. And now my commander costs 5 extra. So, you know, competitive is very high power right now. But I gotta cast blue spells, so this is what we're gonna do. I was to go into the casual queue. Well, we'd be playing blue-black, so I might be playing some multiplayer. I also had to ask chat. Now, probably, I'll probably ask this again in like 10, 15 minutes once people are like trickling in. Katara off the start. Okay. I'll probably ask this start. Exactly. Should I be building a hero deck? Should I have like a hero deck on hand? It's like Marvel stuff, and like I'm not usually enthused by the Marvel stuff, but like it's so on brand. Also, we're gonna toss this back, I think. Mox Amber, Wizard class. Spell Pierce helps a little bit. Commandeer with the Wizard class and Spell Pierce. Commandeer is like gonna eat my hand alive if I do this. The Mox Amber. This is really hard because we're up against Katara. But we're also on the draw. You hate seeing that. You hate seeing that big time. I could try going down like one more. Unable, eaten, mana leak, Talrand. Keep the 5, put back, Talrand, put back, not mana leak. Put back mana. Weirdly enough. This is really bad. We're starting 2 cards down against Katara. I can eaten by piranhas, or I can unable to scream. I am going to eaten by piranhas on their turn, I guess. Go ahead, crack this right now. And we're just gonna do this on their turn to try and like make sure that they don't actually get an experience counter right away. Because we want this unable to scream to potentially resolve. Okay, they're gonna spend their mana on negate. Alright. Lucky, thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Thank you, thank you. Alright. Alright, unable to scream resolve. That's pretty good. Thought of making a Demir rat deck. Think about what you want from the deck. Let's see. Let's go Artificer's Assistant. He's gonna give me Scry power. If I cast Matoya, I get a Scry no matter what. Don't want to use the Polluted Delta. I want to use the Polluted Delta to grab a fetch, but I also need to play around potentially. I think I'm just jamming Matoya here. Get the free Scry. Matoya will get countered. That's whatever. But like, we just need to be able to like get her online to do stuff. Okay, that's pretty good for us. They used the Sink of the Stupor when they could have bounced the Unable to Scream on Katara. Astro Planisphere. I can use Matoya as bait. I'll do that. Cast Matoya as bait, so that way we can resolve the Planisphere. Cavernous Souls helps a lot this turn. Interesting. Okay. Then let's play the Greyhaven now. We'll get the Scry. And then Matoya draws us the Cavernous Souls for free. And that means that the Planisphere is actually a redraw as well. Because remember, the Artificer is going to trigger every time that we cast stuff. So if they counter the Astrosphere, we lose a win condition immediately. But we're also getting immediate value. Fresh Start's a good one to get. Ooh, okay, so they had a flash creature. Gotcha. If we cast a spell during an opponent's turn, put a counter on this creature. That resolves. I kind of want to hold this Polluted Delta to grab like a Mystic Sanctuary, but... Okay. When this creature enters, tap target creature opponent controls and put a stun counter on it, flash and vigilance. So they're going to try and go for the beatdown plan. Gotcha. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, this is whenever we cast a non-creature spell. Tap target creature, so we can like use that to trade, I think. And I feel like I need to hold on to this fresh start to deal with Katara. Because if they get anything to bounce the Unable to Scream, I need to be able to like keep her off. Shuffle this creature and target creature with a stun counter on it into its owner's library. I mean... We'll put her into the command zone. And then we'll just Cavernous Souls. Yeah, let's just take that. I don't mind taking that. No blocks. Pass. Planisphere. Gotcha. There we go. There's Disruptor Flute. That's pretty huge for us. So let's go play that. Name Human. And that's going to let us go... Here's Matoya. Get another try. Force of Will, pretty good. Sadly, it... Body, let's go, step it body, let's go, step it body, step it body, step it body. Security bypass will make it unblockable. It means that we're actually having to erase that. Let's go. Okay, so that happens. And then I am just gonna have to fresh start here. Because conniving lets him dig for something to deal with that deals with Katara. Ooh, hard casting the force negation. Okay, they're not going to attack. Excellent. That's exactly what I want. Okay, then. Let's go... Attack with both? Let's... Actually... Oh, I can put on the Artificers at this point. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind that. Put on the Artificer's Assistant. Right, because if I actually... Yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. Okay, okay. I still have Force of Will up. So, hopefully we don't need to do... Pass. Damage. Yeah, we'll take the 3. Yep, and then it connives. Alright, let's go ahead and Disruptor Flute, and we're gonna do it on Katara. Strip Mine, not gonna help us out. Now we can start taking over the game. Our Waterbending Master. Why are there so many Kataras? That's just begging for something. Also, this is perfect time to like use the Polluted Delta as well. Okay, Foraging Wickermaw. Draws us a card. Subtlety, pretty good. I can put back the Mox Amber, and the Mox Amber's a free draw, so I think I actually put these back. And then we're just gonna go ahead and grab the Brainstorm again. Yeah. Alright, so I can Mox Amber, Scry? No, I want to Brainstorm first. Night Surveil, put back the Rivendell and the Ink Maid. Put it back like this. So that way we can scry away the Rivendell and get back the blue card. Yeah, because now we can put that in the bottom. Get to draw a blue card for Force of Will. Not that for blue. This is a free draw. Go combat, attack. That's a big ass bird. I can also just like hard cast the Force of Will if I need to. Let's see if we need to. I'm not gonna spend the mana to re-equip just yet. Yep. Okay, so the Cutthroat also gets to... So many deck ideas, not enough resources. Every time. Okay. Alright, we're feeling pretty good about this. So go ahead, Ink Mage first. That's gonna Surveil, then we can just like start bopping in. I mean... That does make it big. And that's gonna... I don't think that's what we're fighting over. I think we are going Overwhelm Apprentice. Mill some cards. Try and find like an answer to this thing. Talrad and Search are weirdly enough way too slow, even though they help us like dig. Think of the Stupor's pretty important. We can use that to start chumping. Like if we can even like use the Kit the Cutthroat. I don't mind that. And then actually, what if we just like use it? We're gonna do that, then let's go ahead. Re-equip to Veil Sprite. Go ahead, cast, hit the security bypass. And then go Daka Daka. And then I'll take that just because it's a blue card I can pair with Force of Will. Oh wait, no, I was supposed to bounce the Cutthroat. Fuck. Fuck. Yep. Alright. That's not ideal, but right now we're in a position to win. Like, okay, yep. Alright, and we got there. Phew! Katara is one of those format boogeymen that just, like, gives me heart palpitations every time I have to go against her. And we had to fight that back from, like, what? Mulligan to 5? We're just, like, super lucky that they ended up not having a way to, like... Basically, they used their Sink of the Stupor to bounce something I was trying to do instead of bouncing this. When Katara is their major, like, advantage engine. Yeah, I misclicked. I was supposed to click on the Cutthroat, bounce that. That gets rid of the enchantment and gets rid of their big old clock. Whoops. Fortunately, did not cost us the game. And would you look at that? I got to cast so many spells. If you want to cast a ton of spells, if you want to play, like, long games of Magic, just play Control. Just play Control, chat. And then some of you might be like, ah, but Control is so brain dead and easy. All you do is cast a bunch of counter spells or play a bunch of removal and rafts, and it's like, but don't you like playing long, drawn out, intricate games of Magic? Cavernous Souls, I could put that on Wizard. That would have Silence doesn't do a lot. Can't cast Mentor's Guidance, counterspell. Can't just. Mana Drain, Oracle of Alpha, Enduring Curiosity. This works out if I draw another blue source, which I'm going to hold on to. I need to drop this Enduring Curiosity. And this Strip Mine, I am going to use this Strip Mine that just, like, reset. If they don't have anything meaningful to do with it. But I am going to play Island first, I think. Because if I can go Cavernous Souls into Matoya without them doing anything... Never mind, that's a Chromox. So, Strip Mine's not even going to work. Talisman of Impulse. I get to... Let's play out Cavern. We'll name Human. Then before they can even, like, do anything, we'll just name Rapid Mikey. F. And then we can Strip Mine, we can play Matoya. Yep, that's 4 mana. 5 mana. 3, 4, 5, 6. I can play Matoya, or I can hold up Mana Drain for whatever it is they have next. And then potentially, like, get them off of 2 other things. Yeah, I'm not too worried. 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Mox Amber's pretty good here. Now I can play Matoya. And then hold up Mana Drain as long as she stays on the board. That's 4 damage. That's 4, 5. See, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Currently at 9. Yeah. You got her. You got her, champ. Maybe I should have played out Elrond. Wait, no, shit. Oh, thank God. Not punished. Not punished. Alright, let's do it like this. I'm still gonna play out Oracle the Alpha, actually. No, wait, shit! 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 I punted! I punted so hard! I need them to not hit a land that they can play up. Use to play Raph and Mikey. Holy shit. Holy shit, not punished. I got so lucky. I can eat and bite piranhas, or I can mana drain. I can do one or the other. I've only got 2 blue sources right now. Or Mox Amber doesn't tap for mana because of my Oracle. So it's like one or the other. And I'm just gonna like keep holding up all these answers. Nyx Bloom, Ancient. I can eat and bite piranhas that, or that's gonna help a lot. Alright, let's go play Matoya. And now I can... I want to see if I can hit a blue source, but if not, I'll just use Hidden Grotto. A Time Warp is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Commandeer, excellent. I'll gladly take that. Let's do the Time Warp again. Let's do the Time Warp again. Holy shit, I damn near had a heart attack. I damn near had a heart attack when I realized that I made the wrong play. If I played Elrond, that would have held up my mana drain and my eat and bribe piranhas. I had the one floating. Never punished. We got so lucky there. So lucky. Because, again, this is making them cost 3 extra. So this is actually... Oh, 10. Right, 10. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If they hit, like, 1 land drop. Just 1. And that was such a sketch hand, too, because we were lacking so many blue sources. That got us a second win for the day, so that gets us Cosmic Cube and Mind Stone, which I'd already crafted, but, like... Okay. I mean, that's progress towards, you know, getting mythics that aren't Mind Stone. That's how I try and, like, you know, frame this. Always try and make sure that's to keep things in perspective. Keep in mind that I'm not saying, like, you know, always try and see the silver lining in a bad situation, because sometimes there are legitimately bad situations and you just, like, you don't want to hear it. What I'm saying is, you know, try and, you know, if a problem is, like, genuinely small, you know, try and remember that it's okay. Things could be a lot worse. Force and Negation is not bad for starting off to stop ramp. Palantir would be a win eventually. I guess the biggest thing about Atalia is being able to stop, like, either big ramp or hit for Matoya. I can go Pixie, hold on to Blood Maw. I'll do it like that. Play Petroid Hamlet named Strip Mine, I think. Okay. Yeah, there's Island. Pitch right Hamlet on the next one. Fanatic of Ronus is a really good card. Let's not let them have that for a turn. Oh, Flare Denials. And then we're gonna name. That's a thing that they're doing. Cavern of Souls from Matoya. I've got Flare of Denial and Force Negation. I'm not going to use them to stop the Ronus. I need it to stop the Atali. Okay, Cavern of Souls, name Human. Here's Matoya, going into attack with the Pixie. We get a redraw. Talrand is not what I'm looking for. Strand helps a lot. Can't grab our Sanctuary, but it does let us like start pulling things up. The Surveillance Room also like converts colorless into mana, so I might just play that. Stomper, okay. That does let the Ronus like tap for big mana. That's 4, 8. They can recast Atali pretty easily now. Like that. Ooh, Roxanne. Definitely don't like that. I hit Rox. This is problematic now. So Roxanne is going to shoot the Pixie. And then she just like shoots all of my small utility guys. I'm going to lose the Pixie either way. Mentor's Guidance. Okay. Then let's do this first, shall we? Hit the scry one and then draw one twice. I need at least one island, but I have one right underneath me. Let's see if we can find an answer for Atali instead. Alright. Scry one. I've got all my blue sources now. That's good. Silver Raven. Subtlety. Subtlety is really good because that's going to slow them down for a turn. I need a blue spell to pitch that, so it's either going to be Silver Raven or Force Negation. Probably Silver Raven at that point then. Because what do I need here? I need... let's go with Force Negation. Chromox... or either... Disruptor Flute. You're not a bad draw. And then I have to discard a card. Discard Blooded Strand. Alright, yep, we're gonna go ahead. Just pitch the Force Negation, play the Subtlety. Make it so that way Atali doesn't hit this turn. And buy us some more time to set up. This is 5, 9. They can still... like, Disruptor Flute isn't gonna do as much as I want it to do. Please crack your Fable Passage. Please crack it right now. Okay, Mox Amber is a thing. I need more redraws. This still converts my colorless lands. That's a redraw. And also I get to do it like this. Guess it's a human. Alright, nope, nope. Get another redraw. Days. Days would let me bounce something in play. 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Disruptor Flute stops like them from double spelling is what happens. 3, 4, 5, 9. 10? Go ahead and name a Tali here. And then maybe we get him with a daze. Probably Primal Con. Probably Primal Con. Then attack with the bird. Pass the turn. Alright, so they draw 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Atali currently costs 10. Ooh, this spell can't be countered. Okay. So we get one more turn to try and, like, buy ourselves some time. Interesting, interesting. Okay, now they can play around the days. They can also attack with the Stomper. The Toski just, like, draws an extra card. Don't really need this Owen Speaker. The Toya blocks the Toski. I mean, what else do I have here that, like, deals with the Tali? Like, the Flare Denial? If I go... I need, like, 3 islands in play in order to, like, actually get my counterspell off. So, let's go... Bloom Bloom. I need to find, like, a hard counter. That's what this fight's about. Just, like, keeping them from casting, like, free spells and shit. Mana Leak works. And then I can do that while holding things up. Oracle of the Alphas is fine. Play out my land for turn. Go... 1, 2, 3. Oracle would let me draw extra cards next turn. And also blocks Fanatic Erroneous. It's... I think it's problematic to play out the Oracle just yet, though. Night Stalker, Night Veil Sprite, and Fading Hope. Let's do it like that. Wait, no, shit. Oh, that means I draw the Sprite. I did that in the wrong order. I was supposed to put the Fading Hope on the second bottom and then Night Veil on top of that. Alright, so they're gonna go ahead and they're gonna play Atali for 10 freaking mana. Oh, they're not gonna do that. I mean... that does let him draw a card. Pretty good for them. I mean, they only have 8 mana to do that now. Yep, that's what... They're gonna try and, like, get around any of my soft permission. Wizard Class. I could put Flare of Denial on top. Alright, let's put Flare of Denial on top. And then it's just loop, loop, play Night Veil Sprite, go loop, 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 play Oracle the Alpha, play out Wizard Class, then shuffle, shoot. I messed that up. I messed that up so hard. Alright. Alright, if they hit like a time walk off me, then so be it. Pass the turn. So they've got what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Doski has to attack. The Stomper kills pretty much whatever. Both of these are like... I can also like level up the Wizard class so I can draw some extra cards, but I'm just like really blue light right now. We're gonna have to jam Atali at some point. And if I get to, like, days, I'll bounce the Mystic Sanctuary so I can rebuy something. Alright. Oh my god. Wait, that's actually... I can't stop either of that, actually. The Fanatic Ronus is what's killing me here. Yep, alright. It happens. Get to cast Fierce Guardianship and burning down the house. Which wipes out my Matoya. Oh no, they're just gonna make a bunch of 1/1. Alright, now I'm in danger. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of mana I think I just could rid it with this mana leak. Like, I have to deal with a Tali and a bunch of things. Ooh, Cryptic Command is... Harbinger of the Sea, not what I'm looking for. We're looking for something that can help us out power-wise. Let's see, Talrand is in the graveyard, is that right? So then, let's go bloop. Unauthorized exit. Stops Toski for a turn. None of that's what I'm looking for. Tali can't transform. That's something. Oh, hey! Witness protection. That's pretty good. So if I do that on Toski, then it's just having to worry about a Tali. Okay. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mana. Crystal Tower I can use for like 4 mana. And hard cast at days if I need to. Yeah, I think we're just passing the turn. Time Twister and Ancestral Recall. I'm gonna like mill both of these. But like, hey, if it works, it works. How likely are they to just like put them in Ancestral Recall at the bottom? Damn, I got outthought. Alright, and then let's go ahead and go tap all creatures your opponents control and draw a card. Oof. How much you want to see? Artificer's Assistant. I could redraw. But then they would also reload, and I would have to deal with them having a bunch of stuff as well. Ancient Tomb. That helps a bit. Banishing. Put away the Mox Pearl. Banishing Betrayal. Also. Counterspell. No, that's still not what I want. I think we're just gonna have to take some hits here. Yep. Yep. Because they do just like have a giant 7/7 dinosaur. Ooh, excellent. Start putting counters on stuff, huh? Start making Matoya even bigger. Ooh, even better? Even better. Okay, yep. Pass the draw. Okay, so now I've got days. Oh, I don't have counterspell up anymore. Shit. Woo! Yeah! That's what it's all about, baby. Wizard class is like actually just one of our win conditions. And then we've got Brainstorm here. Like, I'll take chip damage from a Tali all day. We can kill the legitimate business squirrel. We can kill the legitimate business squirrel. Matoya is now officially big enough that a bunch of peeners off the devil shouldn't matter. I'm shocked. Shocked they didn't just go for the 5 damage to everything. That actually would have been a major setback. Excellent. Excellent. He had like 61 cards left in our deck, and we think... GG. Alright, so that fills our blue spell quota, but we're going to continue playing. And you know what? By the time that we switch over to Final Fantasy for the day, I'm going to feel like a puddle of goo. I love the idea of being able to play competitive Brawl. Finally, it's what I've been asking for a long time. But unfortunately, I still have this issue where every time I play competitive, I get so locked in. I get so locked in, so tense, and so focused. I need to learn how to have fun with this. We get to go first. We got Force of Will, Mentor's Guidance, Brainstorm, 2 lands. I'm willing to keep this. Let's go 1 land, pass, and then I'll Brainstorm at the end. Pro Mox, okay. Gonna go for turn 1 Ral, is it? That might mean I need to actually like Force of Will Ral. Let's Brainstorm first. See if we can like find something else. I'm fine with putting back the Grey Havens and the Misty, I think. I'm not ready for Grey Haven as a land drop. And we'll go ahead and drop the Apprentice first. Alright, and then we're gonna go crack that. We're doing this to shuffle away the Grey Havens, because again, want to find something else here to help us out. We're gonna play the AIM Synthoids. Counterspell Island. I think I want both of those. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and like low roll Matoya just a little bit. Or maybe not, depending on like what they're searching for right now with the Mystical Tutor. The biggest issue is that I can't actually play the counterspell off of the Matoya. Ooh, Jessica's Will. Yep, that's a pretty good one. Alright, we're gonna go plop. Play that. And I'm not gonna play the Matoya as much as I want to. Alright, they're gonna go for that. I'm gonna counter the Unexpected Windfall. Here is Island. Here's Mox Amber. Here's Jessica. Or here's Matoya. Go to attacks. And then, do I cast the Mentor's Guidance now? I don't think I do, weirdly enough. Like, I only have the 1 card, so the Jessica's Will is no longer, like, live. There we go. Now we get to just, like, draw 4. Wall of Runes is no longer what we're looking for. When Lucky said go Hero Girl Rangers, thinking what if they did a Power Ranger crossover? Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid, right? Okay, so here's that. Here's land for the turn. Go combat. I might have missed a point of damage here. Yeah, let's go and Yeah, I missed the point of damage. We're gonna bounce Ral. We're gonna try and turn this into Bert. Ah! Alright, so there's Ral. Ral comes back down. They can cast their Jessica's Will.
Another day, another job.
Yep. Alright, so they get to exile the top 2 cards. This is basically a Ruby Storm type deck. Time Warp's a pretty good one, though. Let's see. Go ahead. Do this now, I guess. They have interaction. I've got Durari Disruption. Alright, Spell Pierce is cool. I've got 7. Ooh, Witness Protection. Not bad. They have to like tap out to replay route. I lose out on the Spell Pierce, but they have so much mana right now. They still have the Jessica's Will. Ooh, Greyhaven's a free
Just
draw.
a rain mage, nothing to see here.
Do they have any? They don't. They have like the Mox and that's it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Excellent. You'll love to see that. Just continue to like make life hell for Ral. Now they have exactly 1 red source. Choice of Fortune. Seek 2 cards. They have no max hand size for the rest of the game. Grape Shot. I mean, like, if they want to boop Ral, then, like, yep, absolutely, be my guest. That's an island. Ral costs, like, 8. They had to burn their Grave Shot. They've only got 1 red source. Pour over the pages. That's a draw 3, untap 2, discard a land card. I could tap that. Untap up to 2 lands, though. That's actually really important. Because then if they... Yep, okay. Now they don't get to untap red. Which is going to severely hamper, like, what they can actually do this turn. Meanwhile, Jessica's... What? Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You can play them this turn. Yeah, let's not and say we did. Well, I'm out of cards in hand. Oh god, yeah, the Moraine River Regent will literally just, Now, there is an upside to this. I can go for a Time Warp. Or a Mentor's Guidance. I can go for a Mentor's Guidance that way. I want... Guidance. Alright. Bloop, bloop. Here's Matoya. Here's Mentor's Guidance. Fierce Guardianship, I will gladly take. Yep, draw to Fairy. Hearing Curiosity is Also really good. I've got it to fairy already. I think I'm looking for an answer for Ral or the dragon. Commandeer. Gladly, gladly, gladly. Don't want to hit the Harbinger. And then Fading Hope is a card that I potentially just like pitch to Commandeer. Yes, cuz will. Make a bunch of 3s. I think I let that resolve. They still don't have Ral. They only have 2 cards left in hand. What, 6 mana or 4? Ooh, solve the equation. I would like to have that. And then pitch Fading Hope and Teferi. And then I've got Fierce Guardianship as well. Okay, so I can grab Flare now, Cryptic. I don't have anything that's just like wins a lot on 4. I can turn that into an Opt, which is a draw 3. Honestly, I'm kind of fine with just turning that into an. Oh shit! That was Mind's Decree. All right. All right. That's a Pyretic Ritual. That's a Steam Vents. That's a Pool Resources. And that's a land. That's a huge whiff for them. First things first. Let's go ahead and opt. Into the Maw. I'll take that because that deals with the dragon for at least a turn. And then Fierce Guardianship. Yep, you sure do get to cast that spell. Which they're going to do just so that way they, you know. Cast stuff. Alright, no questions asked. Maybe I was supposed to ask questions, though. Oh wait, this is actually, like, really good. Boop, bloop. Wondering what a Cody deck is like? So a Cody deck is like a 5-color, it's basically 5-color control, and it usually tries to win with some combination of the, Rise of the Second Dawn is what it is. Also, we are so wide of what they want to do right now. Yep, they can go ahead. Marine River Regent comes down, drops the... Bloom, bloom, bloom. Here's Curiosity. Now we get to go River Regent, Toya, and we should just win from here. Does it have a way to win that way? Because there's no way to put things on the battlefield without casting them? Pretty much. Like, you're using Cody to dig, right? You're using Cody to dig, and you're also, you know, circumventing the fact that he says no permanents by just, like, letting them do a thing. So, like, the Second Dawn is probably the easiest and fastest way to basically combo win. You're playing with Cody. The alternative is to run it as a Aetherflux Reservoir type Storm deck, because you can play Bolas' Citadel. So if you have Bolas' Citadel and Aetherflux Reservoir, maybe with a Paradox Engine, that's another way for you to be able to play without having to put, like, you know, creatures in play. Because if I remember correctly, Cody just says you can't play creature spells. Also, that's a GG, Ral. That's a GG. Holy shit, we got lucky with the Mind's Desire. That could have gone very, very, very poorly for us. I guess I didn't have to keep swinging into the route and letting them recast Ral. But that just, like, made it so that way all they did was, like, replay Ral. But hey, everything works out in the end. Having to play around the just cause will so early on was kind of interesting, actually. Says you can't cast permanent spells, not that you can't play them. So the only difference between casting and playing is when it comes to lands. When something says you can't play, for example, like impulse effects that say exile cards and then you can play or cast them. If it says play, that means that you can play lands. If it says cast, that means they have to be spells. They can't be lands. That's the only difference. So if it says you can't cast permanent spells, then that means literally no spells at all. So, trying to think, would you be able to do like Bolas and Citadel then? There's probably like a way to like finagle that. Or you could even like have that set up beforehand, but no, I think it's usually like literally 5 color control with a ton of rafts, removal, and draw into seconds. We got time for like one more, maybe. Yeah, we'll go for one more. Like, it's not definitely not going to be a 3-minute game, but definitely like we could do. You say that, then 2 matches later. It's Lipaw's Emperor's Voice, so if we get this one, like if we lose this one, at least it'll be a quick loss. Force Negation, Harbinger doesn't do anything, but we can pitch it to Force. Land. I think that works for me. Whenever an aura you control enters, if you cast it, you can search your library for an aura with mana less than or equal to that aura with different names. Ooh, that's good. We are also on the play. That's pretty important for us. Lightpaws is interesting. Lightpaws you can actually build as a very budget deck. You can search for a lot of the really cheap, very powerful auras. Going for the Chromox off the bat. Is that worth the Force? I think it might be, honestly. That keeps the tempo in our favor. Curse of Silence, naming Matoya. Not ideal, but I'll live with it, I guess. Alright, go ahead, crack that. Honestly, we very well might end up losing this one now. I didn't want to have to blow everything too early. This is a rogue? Yeah, you don't count for mental guidance. Okay. Preordained is a redraw, but weirdly enough, not what I'm looking for. It might even just like get a Sheltering Ward. I have a Lightpaw deck. Isn't she essentially Voltron deck to an extent? She is. That Curse of Silence is... I really wanted the Force Negation. Maybe I should have held on to that. But then they just like play the Curse of Silence anyway. And then they're also ahead on ramp. Let's see. With mana value less than or equal to aura with a different name than each aura you control. Attached to Lightpaws. So yeah, now they're going to go ahead. They're going to find... Yep. Ethereal Armor. If we have like any sort of bounce effect, that would be... Alright. Surveillance. Nope. Alright. And then we are going to go ahead and... attack with the Night Veil Sprite first, because that's going to let us dig one deeper. Wash away is sadly not what I'm looking for. I kept a pretty dicey hand. So we don't get the trigger. We're gonna get just a scry one, draw one. The saddest. Scry one, draw one. Oof. Fortunate. Nope, nope. Honestly, we might even just, like, die on the next turn. Essentially put bad R's on your opponent's creatures. Use your effect to search for good ones. No. No. You only play good auras. Like, there are legitimately good auras to play. Like, Heliod's Punishment, that is a good aura because that can neutralize a commander for a few turns. Like, why would you play bad auras? Chat, don't play bad cards just to, like, try and make cards work. Like, Light Paws lets you tutor for any aura and attach it to her. You can play literally just the good auras. Time Warp's gonna end up just being an Explorer. And I have to pray that they don't just, like, one-shot me this turn. You don't have to slow roll the flash. You don't have to slow roll the flash aura. I'm saying put bad auras on your opponent's creatures. Well, then they're not bad auras. That's removal. That makes them good auras. Like, why would you put bad auras into your deck? Eaten by piranhas. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and Time Warp right now. And if they Mana Tithe me, I'm crying. Rivendell is, again, not what we're looking for. I mean bad as in detrimental to your opponent? But things that are detrimental to your opponent are good. Neither Elvish Mariner nor Subtlety are what we're looking for. Like, if you mean that it's removal, then just say, like, use removal to auras to, you know, chain into thing. Oh, that's a lot of dead. Got through. Fierce Guardianships, that's not bad. I can Matoya right now. I think I'm gonna. I think that's how we win the Time War now that we have a Fierce Guardianship. Like, trust. When someone says that a card is bad, they'll probably mean that it's like, a card that should not be played. Military Discipline. Enchanted creature gets first strike until end of turn. What did they search for with something like that? I think I had the Fierce Guardian that. I think I had the Fierce Guardian that because I just don't want them searching. How would you play a colors deck? Depends on what colors deck you're trying to build. Oh, god damn it. They got... Okay, so they have Light Paws. And now they can search for a 1-drop. Unless it's, like, literally lethal. I'm gonna try and, like, just let them hit me. Like, I will play chicken if they don't present exactly lethal. So, yeah. Oh, no! Sheltered by Ghosts. Alright, you know what? That's fair, I guess. Ah, God. So it's got Ward, Strike 2. I might just, like, let that stay, then. Because then that means that my bounce spells are, like, super live. Cosmo Elixir and Murmuring Mystic. Those are both really good top decks to get. Murmuring Mystic only if we draw it, though, right? So then... we'll see what happens. Because then that's potentially just like chump blocks for days. I want to Light Paw Hugs. I bet Hugs from Light Paws would be nice. Maybe. Nope. That's gonna be a GG's. Alright, we got GG'd. Yep, that's lethal. See? That's not a bad aura. That's a good aura. Things that remove your opponent's stuff are good. Like, there's no such thing as, like, there's no such thing as calling things that are detrimental for your opponents bad. Because in the lexicon of Magic, like, this is a bad card because it is low quality, it is low power level, and not viable for the format. And there's good, which this is good, strong, powerful, does something that I wanted to do, and also is perfectly viable in the format itself. My paws does look fuzzy though, don't she? He really does. All right. Got our teeth kicked in by light paws off a sketchy hand, but you know what? I probably that's on me. I should have mulliganed for something a little more interactive for early aggression. And we just go on, do our Final Fantasy dailies. And then maybe on Mondays because I can just like clear off everything. If I can clear off everything on the weekend and during the weekdays, we could potentially start using Monday as like a full Magic Monday. Why do we have to lose the only Moonfolk Planeswalker to Phyrexia? Well, they actually did explain the reasoning for that. At the point that Neo Kamigawa came out, they really wanted to nail the idea of a Phyrexianized Planeswalker, because that was a really important reveal for the story, right? So, in Neo Kamigawa, they had 3 primary options of Planeswalkers that they were both highlighting and could become Phyrexian. So, they weren't going to do Kaido. Kaido was I believe... Was Kaido a returning Planeswalker? I don't think he was. I think Neo Kamigawa was his debut. I'm gonna have to double check that. See, go to Scryfall. There's a Jumpstart, Dustmore, All We Be One. Yeah, Neo Kamigawa. Oh, that's right. Neo Kamigawa was Kaido's debut, and then it featured the return of the Wandering Emperor. That's why. That's what it was. I knew that one of them was... But I forgot that the Wandering Emperor made her debut in War of the Spark as one of the uncommons. So they knew that they wanted to bring back the Wandering Emperor since she's literally the Emperor of Kamigawa. Kaito was making his debut. So neither of those Planeswalkers really fit what they wanted to do for Phyrexian completion, because like it's brand new. It's not going to hit as hard. And then because Tamio is also a resident of Neo Kamigawa, she is also going to be there. She's beloved. She's a longtime character. And it's like, okay, well, that leaves Tamio remaining, and actually it just kind of fits because the release and reveal of completed Planeswalkers and having it be someone who was so beloved, like, I'm not gonna lie, the chain, it hit, right? It hits the actual emotional, shit factor. So for that, I did really, really like it. The impact was significantly less so when it was, you know, a Johnny Sleeper agent, and then, you know, following that, the failed invasion of Phyrexia, where Nahiri and Luca and, what was it? It was Nissa, Jace, and Vraska when they became Phyrexianized. Oh, no, that's not entirely true. Like, felt bad when it happened to Nahiri, because I have a very love-hate relationship with Nahiri. That's more of a bit thing than like actual opinion, though. And then like Jace, it's like, wow, I can't believe they actually Phyrexianized, like, you know, their poster boy. Okay. Nissa, very tragic, but also sets up Chandra. That's, perfectly fine. Luca, it's like, who fucking cares? Who fucking cares about Luca? I'm sorry, bro, but like, Ikoria did not give you a good story. Like, the cards gave you what was potentially a good story, but then like the actual fiction was nothing like that. So you were just like a disappointment, bro. You are literally the Dak Faden of the Phyrexian War here. And like, a couple of the other planeswalkers were apparently also Phyrexianized off screen, like Tybalt. Tybalt's dead now for like no adequately explored reason other than like he was Phyrexianized off screen. And then Vraska, it's like, okay, yeah, they got to Jace because they Phyrexianized his girlfriend. You know what? Fair enough. It took a lot of planes to push back Phyrexia. I mean, yeah, but also like there were a lot of planes involved because Elish Norn decided that, you know what, subterfuge is not good enough. We need to have all-out war because Phyrexia is just so powerful and so glorious. And then, like, she lost because she was fighting 17 different battles all at once with a very, very tiny attack force, actually. She basically pulled the old Visor 1. No, humans are dead. And I do mean, like, the Visor 1 that was actually Visor 3. But, just so in love with the Yerk power trip. That's like, there's no way we can lose. Oh, shit, why are we losing? Didn't Tybalt die in Kaldheim? He did. It was on the art of, I want to say it's Tivar's Triumph? It's the X spell. The one that has 1 green and X. Target creature gets +X/+X. Hexproof and indestructible. And that is the only mention of Tybalt being Phyrexianized and killed in the cards. Like, if it's brought up in the fiction, I don't know about it because apparently, like, the main interface medium that we have to interface with the card game story is not being portrayed in the cards. Like, if you didn't know, the World Tree of Kaldheim burned down because the residents were trying to, protect the World Tree from being affected by the Phyrexian copy tree, then you weren't looking at the backside of the Kaldheim battle. Which, like, for some people, they are never going to see, they're going to, like, never see that because they're only ever looking at the fronts of the cards. They're going to see that the battle doesn't have, like, an EDH effect or something that they want. And they're just never going to see the back. Yeah, but to be fair, it was an attack force that could definitely spread. If it wasn't for the bullshit angel powers from New Capenna, which granted was set up in Elf's Details backstory. I mean, it could spread, but it's like... So, like, here's the thing, right? It can spread, but you're essentially declaring open war against a planet where you have no setup for it. Like, Phyrexia is at its strongest when it can do a slow infiltration to build up its forces and then sneak up and launch the attack. Elish Norn tried to walk through the front door without any of that, and it's like, okay, we crushed this thing before they could actually, like, infect too much stuff, Like, she kneecapped her own invasion out of ego. And that is the tragedy of the Phyrexian invasion force. What did they think New Capenna would be easy to take down? Again, it's an ego thing. It's very much a, we are going to make New Phyrexia great again. I've been talking to all of the planeswalkers that we've assimilated. All these planeswalkers, and they say that we're the best. They say that I, with the big hat, this hat is so big. It's the biggest that they've ever seen. No other Praetor comes even close. We will just watch in. We'll waltz into all these planes. They'll be terrified of us. They will be dying to kiss our feet and be like, yes, yes, thank you for saving us. Thank you for showing us the light. Thank you, thank you. I would say that I need to work on my Trump impression, but I don't think that's something I want to spend too much time doing. The really ego thing was tying all of Phyrexia to herself, so when she died, it all for some reason just shut off permanently. I mean, that's definitely one of the ego things. Like, the whole thing with the Phyrexian, like... Here's the cool thing about Phyrexia that never gets explored. This is a peoples and a society that for the first time is actually having to develop its own culture and its own identity, which it has never had to do before, because historically, Phyrexia has always been just assimilators. They've always been Borg, right? And whatever culture they had was just a warp and twist of what was existing beforehand. While it was built on top of Mirrodin, that kind of just like got taken over and assimilated so completely that there wasn't anything left of that original culture. And they had to like figure things out for themselves. Now, the Praetors themselves, none of them were willing to work with each other from the get-go, right? Urabrask is the most prominent version of that, because, you know, Red being its, I want to be individualistic, I want the freedom to do what I want and to, you know, not have to conform. That's part of what, you know, pushed for Urabrask to basically be a Phyrexian brat and allow the Mirrodin rebellion to exist inside his domain in the core. But also, like, you get into Vorinclex, you get into Jin-Gitaxian and Sheoldred, and they all have such wildly different ideas on how exactly Phyrexia needs to build itself. Like, Phyrexia is actually being diversified through the 5 colors of magic, in part because of Mirrodin's 5 sons. And so, you know, they all have ego driving them, right? It's ego that leads Jin-Gitaxias to, like, believing that he can go and do the Phyrexian completion thing. It's all ego that they are perfect. They are everything. Like, you want to talk about perfection being the enemy? Phyrexia is what happens when you believe in an actual true perfection that comes with assimilation and genocide. 1000% yes. If Elishnor didn't just take over, they would have been infinitely stronger. 100% exactly that. That is exactly what I'm saying. You get it. But by virtue of what they are and the decisions that they made, again, because of ego, that was something that could never happen. Because the messaging of the Phyrexian War is that fascism, by its own merits, has nothing. It has nothing but the ego of rule and total control. Fascism cannot work with its allies. Fascism wants everything for itself because it's a greedy, greedy diaper baby. That, while deadly, should not be taken seriously and is significantly weaker than they would have you believe. And, like, as much as I hate how quickly they wrapped up the Phyrexia War, as much as I hate how it feels like, you know, the top decision makers of WotC just wanted to get it over with so that way they wouldn't have it fractured by all the Universes Beyond stuff coming down the pipeline. That, at least, was something I really liked about it. That being said, the Dominator United portion of that was particularly bad. That was when I was trying to get back into the fiction, and I was enjoying it up until the end stories there. The end stories there where we have, like, the sudden reveal of Ajani being the sleeper agent, and it's all handled in the space of, like, 2 sentences before Jaya gets killed off for real this time. And it's handled in like less than a paragraph. Like, damn, Dominaria United got done so fucking dirty. There was just too much to pack into the one set. That should have had like 2 sets. One for like going back to Dominaria, and then one for the actual like results of the war battle. Duskmoor is an interesting plane. 100% agree. I love the concept of Duskmoor, especially if you watch the Spice 8 rack breakdown of it. I think part of why I like Dustmorn comes with the analysis that it provided. Like the actual commentary on horror, on the idea of what is being brought into this living haunted house. Like, it sounds kind of cringe at first, but then you stay with it and you're just like, wait, the demon is the house, is the entire plane. That's dope as fuck. But also, some of the coolest stuff about it is also in the fiction, which I only know because of Spice 8 Rex video. So it's once again, wow, I wish all of this extra cool stuff was in the cards. That being said, though, there was still plenty of stuff that was cool cards. Like, I am a huge fan of enchantment creatures. I think having the enchantment creatures be like the various fears of, the various phobias, is brilliant. I love Delirium. It's probably one of my favorite graveyard mechanics, and Dustmorn was playing with that quite a bit. I love the design of the demons, having like the classic goat horns and stuff like that. Great shit. Absolutely great shit. Manifest Dread. Oh god, that's another great one to bring back because it's a great twist on a really old Manifest mechanic. Rooms were a little weird, I admit, when I first saw them. Like, they've grown on me. But my initial impression was, this feels a little awkward and unintuitive. Especially, like, with all the how the unlock room works. But, like, you know, you play with them long enough and you pick it up. It was once a bigger plane, but because of Valgov, he shrank it to being a house. I mean, like, it feels like it shrank to a house, but remember, it is still an entire huge world. And, like, some of these manors are fucking huge. And, like, it's even bigger than that, right? Like, everything has been recontextualized into being a part of the house. No, it's still big. The plane didn't get smaller, the house got bigger. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Also, I still don't have a copy of Valgavoth, but I really want one for my Kalia deck. Like, that card is really fucked if you can resolve it. But also, like, it's not just, like, the power level. I also want Valgavoth because, like, the fact that he is moth-themed. Oh, God, I love that. I'd love me some Silence of the Lambs theming. Can I always just get the RB Commander one? Not the one I want, though. I want the big black one. I want the one that costs like 9 mana. And don't take that out of context. You can keep your head in the gutters, just like don't... But shut up, shut up, shut up. It's great, both of them are fucking busted. I mean, the red-black one is good, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that's not the one I want. Like, I only have so many deck slots in Kalia. If Dustmorn wasn't full of horror and creepy things, it'd be interesting to look inside. I mean, yeah. Like, here's the thing, too, right? Horror has a strong, strong bond with queerness and queer theory. I don't have the timer gummy bears to go into it, like, today, but, like, that's just the truth. That's just the truth. So, like, this set was already going to do pretty good with the gays. The RB1 is malicious to build around. It's funny that you say that, because right now my main context for that is actually the review that EDH Recast gave the precon, where they basically said it was an S tier precon when it came out, in part because you could just like fucking die from it, and it's like good for her, but also, oh wait, whoops, I did. Okay. But like that's also the only context that I have for it. In part because I just have... Because remember, chat. Remember. Mama Hero Girl. Good old Auntie Hero Girl here. She doesn't get out of the house. She doesn't leave the bog. She doesn't go out and play Commander with the other kids. Instead, she stays inside and plays solo all day. You'd want to go... I want to go to the greenhouse of Dustmorn? Okay, so like if you do go to like any one room of the Dustmorn Manor as portrayed by the cards, God, it makes me want to like re-look over at the rooms, because it's like that's actually a fairly interesting question. What room would you want to go check out if you could go check out Dustmorn? Like, you know, let's pretend for a second that this is just a part of surviving. Like, you know, the monsters and shit are still going to be there, because the monsters and shit are part of what's actually making these rooms dangerous to visit in the first place. Second of all, which one is it and why? Because, like, you know, a greenhouse, that sounds nice and all, but then you start getting into some Little Shop of Horrors shit where you have killer plants ready to just murder you and digest you alive. Like, I ain't about that shit. I'm gonna be in whatever room the 5-color legend is in, because that room is not fucked up. I mean, isn't it that she, like, literally can move around the house, like, wherever she wants? Because she's the one who has the pact with Valgavoth? I don't know. Maybe Mint knows what we're talking about. How the room determines which demon watches over it. They all have demons watching over them, though! Like, maybe you can get a different flavor of demon, but they all have demons watching them, and I don't want to deal with demons. Okay, so, like, this is not a, you know, which, you know, this isn't like a marry, fuck, kill scenario where, like, there might be, like, a good option for one over the other. This is a marry, fuck, kill scenario where it's like, I am deliberately giving you 3 bad options, and you are just kind of ordering your preference on which one is worse to deal with, you know? What, doesn't look that bad? Maybe. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a quick look at the, I'm going to take a quick look at the type room. Let's see. Okay, I'm not fucking with the doll maker's shop. Horror dolls creep me the fuck out. So let's not do that one. If you go to the bonds pool, there's probably like some stuff. Secret arcade. Oh, that. I mean, the arcade could be fun. You actually start having fun. Guy taps your shoulder, is like, I got next game. Defiled Crypt and Cadaver's Lab. Honestly, if we're talking about like playstyle, that's probably one of my favorite ones. So I might even like want to go there. Like it's a crypt. It's already like creepy, but also just like tons of dead stuff. Room, Guapworks, Warp. Ticket. So use your ticket. Experiment lab, house, walk-in closet. Restricted office, lecture hall, furnace, theming. That sounds like some Freddy Krueger gift. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Like, none of these places are like particularly appealing, but you kind of have to make the best of a bad situation. Like, maybe it's actually the prop room. Like, maybe you go to the prop room and there's something that you can use there to survive. Or, I mean, not demon, my mistake. Oh, yeah, you mean like the overlords. Yeah, that makes sense. Honestly, I keep forgetting that the overlords aren't legendary. And, like, that makes them infinitely more playable for constructed. But, like, they just have the aura, you know? They just have the aura. Alright, so if we go into Viper, I can start clearing out. What do you want to do? Orm Veil. No, it's that Valgavoth fixes the house as she walks through it, so she doesn't know the house is fucked up. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it, but I'll also like consider rechecking out the Spice 8 rack video just to, you know, verify that. It's not that I think you don't know your stuff, Fran, but it's that I know you well enough to know that you might not necessarily be communicating it in a way that reflects the reality of which we live. Or even like the reality of what your actual thought is. Walk-in closet doesn't look too bad. Honestly, yeah. Go into the walk-in closet. Maybe find a new outfit. Maybe try and like blend in. I don't know. Like, I guess it depends on what you're doing, right? Like, if you're just there to see the scenery, then warp space gotta be good. Or maybe the charred foyer. The arcade though could be a lot of fun to check out if you're just like trying to have a good time before the light of your life gets snuffed out. But if the goal is to survive, probably not Meat Locker. Meat Locker is just like, you know, you're not gonna survive long term in there. You're gonna get the hypothermia or some shit. And like, you won't even be able to like eat the meat because it's frozen. And then don't hit me with that, you know, just eat it type stuff, because like, you know, we saw Luffy try and eat frozen meat and we saw how miserable he was. The only reason he was doing it was because it was an emergency situation. IDK, there's a stated reason. My theory why the overlords aren't legendary is 1, they are aspects of Valgavoth. Legendary. 2, they knew they would not be as playable if they were legendary. It honestly might be the playability point. Because, like, I remember at one point there was a 5-color Enchantress deck in play for Standard. Like, the Green Overlord was a big part of that since it makes the Everywhere token. It might have also been that there was some confusion in playtesting. Like, they get new players to play them, and then the new players keep thinking that, you know, if it's a creature or an enchantment, maybe the legend rule doesn't apply or something like that. So they just like, okay, let's, you know, Damocles this and cut the Gordian knot. Just make him not legendary, not deal with that headache. Honestly, I'm glad that they're not. Makes cloning them so much more fun. And then this is also just like the legendary bloat. Oh my god. So many Legends of the Universe Beyond sets. I used to be like, and it's wild. I used to love seeing a new legendary creature because they used to be like so rare and so special. I wanted to build a Legends Cube at one point, and now it's just like, yeah, you can build a Legends Cube. Just literally grab a box of whatever Universes Beyond came out and just pull all the commons and uncommons out. Say la vie. Let's see, this is 50, so there's gonna be Brave Locks hard. Also, hold on, I need to double check. How am I doing on Poetics? I'm fucking capped out on Poetics shit. Alright, what do I gotta go buy from there? And I can't believe I overcapped. At least I noticed before the next sales got finished. Identifiable seeds or gel and bone. And this would be like what, 300, 600 seeds or shell and bow. Go drop those off real quick because we're gonna have our story like filled up with all this junk. The White Overlord of Mistmores, and I don't think you'd be comfortable with that watching you. That thing looks like Sleep Paralysis Demon. Honestly, like, most of the art in Dustmorn, if you look at it too long, just like creeps me out. Being honest. Like, and like, here's the thing, right? This is the downside to playing exclusively on Arena. They did a really cool effect with the art in for Dustmorn. If you get printed cards, some of them are going to have an extra creepy figure in the background that doesn't exist in some of the other alt, right? So if you see one copy of a card and it's got nothing there, then you suddenly see a copy of the card with a thing there and you're like, what the fuck is that? That was something else that I didn't know about until I saw the Spice 8 Rack video. Yeah. Stop. I don't even know. Oh god, they might be like available as an alternate art on Arena, but I just don't know. Also, you know what's funny? I just realized that I've got Music Bee on still, but y'all aren't going to be able to hear it because I turned it off when we switch over to Final Fantasy 14. Like right now you get the Final Fantasy 14 music, but maybe I should like actually mute. Actually, you know what? What if I came up with like a streaming macro? What if I came up with a streaming macro for when we do the daily grind? And it's like turn off BG music. That way we just like get to continue chilling to the ambiance of the daily grind playlist. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a macro for that later. I just need to check out what the typing commands for that is. Well, like I guess I could even like do it after this dungeon. Yeah, let's try that out. Like on the one hand, it makes me feel a little incongruous because of the things that we're doing, but at the same time, it's like, but after all, why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I continue jamming out to the music that I picked? No? We're gonna be adding some Final Fantasy VIII music and some Dragon Quest music to the playlist here in a bit. The other plane that's interesting in Bloomborough? Oh my god, I love Bro. God, it makes me so mad that we didn't get a second set for Bloomborough, like, planned. But I'm not shocked whatsoever. If you know, you know. The hero girl must jam. Not only must the hero girl jam, but it would give me more opportunity to just like sing along with the fun stuff, you know? Like we've got Strive music on here for a reason. Let me belt it out. You know what's... I drew a picture for Bloomborough with the release. At one point, I was going to try drawing my model, doing things correlating to the magic sets that were coming out. And it's just like... Does this do anything for anyone? Am I the only one proud of my accomplishments? I also can't keep track of all the sets that are coming out, so like I'm just like constantly forgetting to do these before I have a chance, and then I'm doing like crunch drawing and stuff like that. The analytics say that, you know, they're not making a difference, so like, why? I'm shocked we only got one Bloomborough because it was clearly designed for multiple seasons in mind. It would imply multiple sets because the set only takes place in like summer or the fall. You would have to explain what you mean by clearly designed with multiple seasons in mind. Because the only thing I really noticed with regards to demonstrating multiple seasons was like the full art lands, which had variations that changed up the art depending on what the season was being represented. Because other than that, I didn't pick up on anything in the set that implied that it would have been designed for like multiple seasons. I kind of feel like it was designed more like to show the different creature types, and also just being like, oh, and here's a fun scene from winter, and here's like all the year-round stuff. Yes, and lore-wise, the seasons are incredibly important to the playing because they are critters. I mean, like, if it was that important, it would have been in the cards. Or at least you'd like to think so. As we all know, just because it's important doesn't mean they're going to do jack shit to tell us about it. There was only one of the seasons? I mean, that just makes sense, right? Like, that's how time works. That's literally just how time works, right? Focusing on a singular story. Focusing on one story, and they happen to do it in one setting. You're a girl, what do you think? What do I think about what? If you said something and I didn't get a chance to address it, my apologies. At the same time, though, I'm unfortunately not gonna understand what you mean by just like, what do you think? I'll check. I'll scroll up in chat here in a second. You got sent to Bloomer. What animal do you think you change into? Yeah, I missed that one. All right, chat. Name your Redwall Sona. What is your Redwall Sona, chat? Honestly, it kind of depends, right? Like, they have more than the 10 creature types available, but also the 10 creature types are the most popular and the easiest to identify with. So I think you'd want to start with that. I don't know. Maybe I'd be a mouse. Maybe I'd be a mouse because I'm just so Boros coded, you know? If nothing else, my Planeswalker OC, Amelia, she is a very red-white character, so I went and I made a mouse version of her for the Bloomborough thumbnail. What I mean is the playing was clearly drafted with an idea that seasons mattered to the playing, but then jammed the story into only one season rather than across two because they were told only one set. That doesn't make sense to me. That just feels like they included that as a world-building detail. Because, like, here's the thing that you have to understand about modern set design. They don't get to design these sets with an idea that they're going to be doing two of them unless it's already a planned idea that they're going to be doing a back-to-back block set, kind of like Innistrad with Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. Because, like, right now, the model for WotC is just one and done, one and done, one and done, one and done. Because all players ever want, apparently, is, you know, new thing, new thing, new thing, new thing. And so, the world building team probably built this as a, you know, a thing that they can explore and then do. And then also, if they return to Bloomborough, then this is a dial that they can turn to change things up. So, like, saying, oh, all these seasons have different, you know, importances. Then this first set is just the one season. And if we come back to it, I don't know, maybe we'll do a spring or a winter. It's just future-proofing is what it feels like. Redwall Sona, question mark? Have you not heard of Redwall? Redwall was written by a French author. It is a children's book, right? It is essentially the de facto small animals doing people things, and then everything is in scale, right? Like, this is your, you know, it is literally a mouse. It is not a human mouse, but it's a mouse that, like, wears hats and does swordplay. And, like, they gather nuts and fish and stuff, but, like, all the nuts and stuff are still, like, in proportional size because they are just mouse-sized. They could go around riding a badger or a turtle if they want. It's very much in the style of, like, you know, American Tail would be one of them if you know the Don Bluth movie. Rescuers Down Under, that's another one. I was a fan of reading books like Guardians of Ga'Hoole and Poppy when I was a kid. Oh my god, I loved those books. I loved it when animals were animals, but then they were also doing things that, like, you know, what people could do, right? Like a mouse using a porcupine quill as a sword or a pin needle or something like that. That's basically the whole thing about Redwall. I feel it'd be a raccoon. Raccoon's pretty good. I like the raccoons. Honestly, the raccoons were fun to try and mess around with. We tried making a raccoon deck for Brawl, but I don't know. I felt like it was missing a little bit of the sauce. I know Fran likes raccoon. Oh, but you know what I really loved out of the, what else I really loved out of Bloomborough? The frogs. Oh my god, I love the frogs. Like, we have a friend who loves frogs, and, like, you know, no, I don't know that I would love them as much as she does, but at the same time, it's like, you're telling me that blue-green is frogs? That they are, like, weather mages and all this stuff, and that their mechanic, their creature-type mechanic is literally leapfrogging? Oh, that is so cute. I love that so much. I actually have a foil copy of Sun Shower Druid on my desk. Like, I'm looking at it literally right now because I love the art so much. I also have it on our rotating TV screen, so that way we can, you know, see it every so often. And then it comes up and it's like, it's a frorg! It's Forg! Hero, I love all critters. I mean, like, I'm not saying you dislike other critters. Like, look, I'm pointing out that you like waffles. I'm not saying that you hate pancakes. The Calamity Beasts were interesting. So that's why they have stuff to return to your own creatures to your hand. Yeah, that's my interpretation of why the mechanic is the way that it is, right? It feels like leapfrog. It feels like frogs jumping up and down. Nope, love all critters equally. Braun has no favorite critters, including the beloved stink bug. Braun loves the flat and earthy tapeworm. Braun sees a tick on his ankle and he goes, "Hello, Mr. Tick. You are just as cute and cuddly as a kitty." Trying to think, what are some other pets that we can talk about? Buggos, not critters. So you're saying that you like buggos over critters? Is that what you're saying, Fran? This is a joke in which I deliberately misinterpret what Fran is saying, because I know that he has a difficult time, like, articulating exactly what it is that he means. And I've decided to point out the fallacy in the literal words that he's saying, rather than take his words at the heart of what I have come to understand that he means. Lizards. Gev is such a cute little thing. Oh my god, the lizards are so good too, though. Gev, okay, here's a fun fact, right? So you know I've got okay, so chat, you might know that I have the Jack Garland deck. I.e. Garland, Knight of Cornelia. That used to be a Gev deck. That used to be a Gev deck because I really, really liked the idea of using Gev to pump up a bunch of the really small aggressive creatures and give me a much stronger rate for them. Like, if you just, like, hit something, right? And then you play it, and then it comes into play with an additional counter, suddenly your 1 mana 2/2s are 1 mana 3/3s. I wanted to see if I could make that a thing. I couldn't make it a thing. But, like, you know, we tried. We tried for a while, and that was pretty fun. Plus, like, you know, every time that you play the lizard, you get to play the lizard button. Lizard. Lizard, 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 lizard. You know, I completely forgot to turn off the BGM. Let's do that, like, as we wrap up stream today, shall we? Because right now I've got Johnny's song playing, and that is a shame that I can't just, like, belt it out right now. Don't forget, is it otters? God. See, this is why I like Bloombro. It just hits so hard on, like, literally everything. Because, like, yeah, absolutely, is it otters? It's still funny that they made Ral Zarek, of all people, an otter, though. This was where I found out that apparently otter was the term for a particular body type of gay man. Which, like, hey, you know what? Good for him. Good for him. And then they did... Okay. As far as, like, bonus sheet stuff goes, like the actual guest star bonus sheet stuff, the Planeswalkers that they reprinted to show off who would be... what kind of animals each character would turn into, that was also a really cute idea. I enjoyed that. Like, seeing that apparently Jace would be a fox, and they used it as a chance to reprint the Mind Sculptor, that was really nice. I like that. It's also really funny to see Liliana turn into a squirrel. Because, like, she had that whole beef with Garruk as a beast mage. You know, filthy beast mages and all that. And then she just, like... She becomes the squirrel. She might actually have a little bit more in common with nature than she cares to admit. Although squirrels being the green-black tribe, also very nice, very nicely done. We also have Demir rats and Orzhov bats. We do. So that's the interesting thing, right? They have rats and mice. Like, mice are essentially a brand new creature type at this point. They did have like individual mice, but maybe like 2 or 3, not like enough to support a deck built around them. So introducing red-white mice as something different than rats, that is an interesting take. On the one hand, I like it because, like, you know, obviously rats and mice are, but also like defining them that way. On the other hand, there were, like, you know, a lot of people griping that, no, I want to build a mouse deck, but you didn't give me enough mice to build a commander mice deck. And it's like, you're already dominating standard. What more do you want? Meanwhile, the bats, though. Every time I think about the bats, I remember Stella Luna. And Stella Luna, like, just is, you know, the ugly duckling all over again. But so many variations of the ugly duckling lend themselves so well to queer theory. Like, you have a small bat who grows up trying to eat bugs, trying to live like a bird, trying to sleep during night and do stuff during the day, and she's miserable, right? She's miserable because she's growing up in the wrong environment. She's being raised in a way that doesn't, like, fit how she's trying to do. And, like, that's just the queer experience, first of all. But it's just such a flexible story that it also fits, like, a ton of stuff. Because it's just not belonging. Like, you could say the exact same thing about someone who's, you know, neurotypical. Someone who is autistic and tries to do the things that everyone else can apparently just do easily. And then you're like, why can't I do it? And then you find out, no, you're not strange. You're literally just trying to live your life like something that you're not. More mice, clearly. God, Hero, it's like you don't listen. Ron, you're going to have to provide me with... I went on a bit of a tangent there. You're going to have to provide me with some context with what you're replying to. Oh, wait, no, no, wait. It's like... Oh, it's when I was saying you already dominate standard. What more do you want? Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's see if I can do this. I'm going to unhide the... Music B. There we go. So there's Music B music. And then what I need to do is go System, Character Configuration, Control Settings, UI Settings, Login. I don't think that's it. Randomize, Battle Effects. Maybe it's under System. Sound Settings, Play Sounds, BGM music. Actually, hold on. Let me pause the stream view. Take off the ambient sounds. Enable normal. Play sounds when window is not active. Play system sounds. No? I'm still hearing the Dealshire music. What's going on? Enable normal battle music. Play music when mounted. System sounds, performance, sound effects. Let's see. Let's try turning off. How do we look? Oh, it turns off as soon as the screen, as I click away. Then let's go to FF14. Setting, left-hand tab. Audio tab on the left-hand side. You can choose to turn off mount music and individual sliders for beat. I mean, that would do it. BGM 0. Literally just BGM 0. Is that all it took? ambient sounds would be like the world itself, so we actually want to leave that on, I think. Yeah, just like literally BGM 0. All right. All right, that works. Grow raccoons and Azorius birds. Yeah, we went over the raccoons. Raccoons are good. Birds being Azorius is probably like the super vanilla option, if I had to say. Like, we had a conversation about vanilla being like seen as the boring or whatever. But like, I think Azorius birds is like the obvious pick. Like, it's obvious. Like, it's not something that you don't do, because like that's the thing that everyone's expecting. It's like, okay, we're gonna go to a birthday party and they say they have cake. We're gonna expect that there be a cake. You tell me that there's a creature set and we're gonna bring in we're gonna make everything creatures. We're gonna use the popular creature types, and they show like a picture of a bird. I'm like, okay, that bird's probably blue-white. That's to be expected. That's what you do. You don't mess with the expectations like that. But also, blue-white birds has been done for so long. So this really is it really is like just adding in a little bit more support to fill in the spots for where maybe things don't happen. Maybe things that support doesn't exist on Arena, or for new players who want to get into playing birds and then they discover like the long storied history of blue-white birds. Like blue-white flyers as a draft mechanic archetype has also been around for a long time. It's like, yep, those sure are blue-white birds. I'm happy you're here, but you're not what I'm excited for, I think is what I'm trying to say here. I would make an otter deck and call it Not Like the Otters. Well, you get points for the clever title. And with that, actually, we're gonna call it the end there. I'm gonna need to mess around with. I'm definitely gonna need to make a macro for the let's see, shared macro actually. What do we have as far like icons go? I guess that way it's E2. Slash B. Hold on. Do this slash BGM 16 slash BGM 0. It would probably have to be like, you know what? I'll mess with it later. I can get my wife to help me nail out the things. Cat. All right, we're gonna wrap things up here. But we'd love to pass on the love before we pass on. So go ahead and hit the lead the raid redeem. That's what we call lead the raid redeem. You know anyone who plays card games? You know anyone who loves Magic the Gathering? Knows anyone who plays MMOs like Final Fantasy 14 or is a Final Fantasy dork? Maybe they're queer, maybe they're neurodivergent. As long as they just like fit the vibes of the stream, hit that lead the raid redeem. If you're on the YouTube side, thank you so much for hanging out. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and tell people about the stream if you think they'll enjoy hanging out. I'm gonna go ahead and end the YouTube there. Bloop. And then over on the Twitch side, go ahead and